All right, I am so excited to be welcoming in Pro Bowler Kyren Williams, the running back of the Los Angeles Rams, also the Walter Payton Man of the Year nominee of the Los Angeles Rams. But it's not just Kyren Williams. A little peek behind the curtain if you're listening to the podcast version of this. I got Kyren and Jourdan Rodrigue of The Athletic with me, of course, my co-host on NFL Daily. And we were going to do it in 3 different windows. But the Rams sound, the room that Kyren was in wasn't that great. So now Kyren's on Jourdan's computer, and we're just doing this all together because we're a non-traditional podcast. Kyren, you came late in the draft. You're a non-traditional superstar running back. So hopefully feels comfortable to you. Welcome to NFL Daily. Appreciate you coming on.
Appreciate you guys for having me. Yeah, I'm used to uncomfortable situations, so this is all normal.
I want to go more on that. Is Sean McVay a coach that puts you guys in uncomfortable situations, or are you talking more about Sundays in the games you're playing?
Well, I think this the way that I kind of approach life. You expect comfort, but in those uncomfortable positions is where you really learn who you are, what you're about, and like the things that you're made of. And so, little things like God's gonna throw you curveballs every single day, and you just gotta expect to hit them and roll with the punches. So me, it's whatever. I'm always ready for whatever it is.
One of the things that I think watching you kind of grow into your career over the last couple of years is you seek those situations out. You go looking for them to the point where sometimes your coaches have to pull you back or pull you away, almost protecting you from yourself because you put so much into everything. How has that balance gone for you this year? Because you want everything all the time.
I mean that's kind of like I take it as a compliment, but also that I, as I'm further going on my career, I realize that I got to be more careful and be more, aware of what I do to my body and just what I do physically. But for me, like you said, I've always grown up to just accept those uncomfortable situations, whether that's in life, football, or, even school when I was in school. And so for me, it's all normal. But, you're able to learn from those things. And I learned this year, I learned that, I don't have to go hard all the time. I can slow down, take a step back, take care of my body, listen to my body. And that just allows me to be able to be set up and, where the position I'm at today, where, I feel like I'm only getting stronger as this season's going. It's week 16 and I just peaked in the weight room today. So it's like little stuff like that, allows me to be able to you don't got to go hard all the time. Just be smart and, do what you got to do when the time is, necessary.
Wait, you peaked in the weight room today? What are we talking about here?
On the force plate jumps, we do those every Wednesday when we work out. And so today we just, you had your hands on your hips and it was a vertical jump. There's a trend that's on mine going like this. And so I beat last week's jump and, so I just credit to, the work that I'm putting in, the smart work that I'm putting in after practice and, the things in the weight room that I'm doing.
I'm jealous. We get to holiday season and I'm like, my body's falling apart at this time of year. I'm like, I used to watch all these coaches. They come into training camp and they're always in great shape. And then by December, that was like the old NFL. Now all your coaches are in great shape. I got to admit, like Sean and everything. I wanted to ask you a question. So I was thinking, what's a signature Kyren Williams run? I kind of had my own answer. I gave it as kind of a thought experiment to myself, but I'd rather hear you answer it first, and then I'll give you my take. Like, what's a signature Kyren run?
Man, honestly, I want to say I like it all, honestly, but this past 3 years that I've been here with the Rams, we've been really honing in on the 12 duo and whatever that is. Actually 13 or 12, whatever. But having those double team blocks and being able to press the line of scrimmage and make those linebackers pick where they want to go, and then just being able to jump cut from A gap or from C to C, from C gap to C gap, either way. And so for me, that's kind of what we've been, what we've been known as here at the Rams. But I really feel like any run is a Kyren Williams run. I just got to get the opportunities.
Yeah, especially if it comes with your favorite, the doom block or the blast block in front of it. And that's something that the Rams, and particularly behind you, Kyren, have been working to install and overhaul over the past couple of years, with you being very much the heartbeat of that. What's that been like for you? I mean, you were a big deal in college, but to have, after the start to your career, I know you hit some adversity, but then coming in the last 2 years, and this is built around you. It's built for what you do well. What has that been like for you?
Man, it's a blessing, because I've always wanted to be in this position. I've always wanted to be right where I'm at playing professional football at the highest level and being successful at that. And like you said, I ran into adversity, but like that was my test. That was my calling. That was my really like, are you ready for the NFL? Do you want to be in the NFL? And so when I went through that stuff, like that's just like we talked about earlier, the uncomfortable positions or situations that, I was able to be in at an early stage of my career that allows me to be able to set up to where I'm at now. But just being able to have a, like you say, offense kind of, run game built around who I am and what I do best. It's a blessing because, I love this game. I love being able to play football. And like you said, I want everything. So whenever when Coach McVay is thinking about me in the run game, that's all I've ever wanted, while playing football.
Yeah, you gave me a very X's and O's answer, which I appreciate. And it's pretty close to what I thought about too, although Jourdan picked up on more of it than I could, because that's why I have her alongside. I can't do an interview by myself.
Oh, that's for sure.
Thanks, Kyren. You're a good teacher.
Yeah.
I just can't do it by myself. I got to have her sit. And you guys are cracking me up watching this. People should check this out on YouTube.
I told Kyren he's too young for this, but this is like a Collinsworth slide situation. Like I should have really just slid into the frame like this.
It's true. And so what I was thinking, like signature runs, because like Derrick Henry, a signature, one of his runs, it's going to have a stiff arm in it. My favorite running back of all time, Frank Gore, if I'm thinking of what a signature run would be, it'd be him being so patient behind the hole that you can't even believe. And then he hits something so hard before it even opens. And you're like, how did you know that was going to open when it opens? And for you, it would be a little bit of that. It'd be what you said. It'd be a run that would have great vision, that would have great footwork, where just the lateral agility. And that to me is what separates you and a lot of great running backs over there, the lateral agility to hit that hole and know when to hit it. But the one thing you didn't say is that, to me, a signature Kyren run would be you'd get low at the end of it and you'd run someone over. Because I think the physicality that you bring at your size and everything that, like, I didn't know about that until I saw it in your second year. Are you still surprising defenders with that? And do you think I picked a good signature run?
Yeah, but I like to be physical. I just like that nature of, people aren't expecting me to come and really hit you or come and really try to run you over. And so like being able to have that in the bag, it creates a lot of opportunities for me to be able to also find that safety and make them, line them up and beat them one-on-one. So that's kind of like when you say signature, yes, being patient, hitting that hole when he's not even there. But I also want to get into being able to make that safety miss and, create those big runs. And that I'm still working for those. And I'm still I'm gonna get those. They're coming soon. I promise you that, because that's just what I see. But like just being able to have that ability too, when people know that you aren't scared to lower your pads and run them over, because that was the talk of me coming to the NFL. Oh, he's not big enough, or he's too small. And like, who's too small? I'll run you over. I'll be putting DMs on their butt. It all doesn't matter. That's out of the story now. And so, being able to, set that early on in my NFL career, that was huge for me. And like you said, seeing that in the second year, many people didn't know that.
And I think one last thing on the signature run, we have to finish it with a flourish, right? Whether you get hit or not. And whenever you do get hit before you're ready to go down, right? Yeah. He gets up and you will like stomp your feet and you have that emotion, and you can see you're often facing, the end zone, and you can't see your lineman running behind you. The linemen, they feel that, and they come running up to you and they reset the line and you're ready to go again. How do you transfer that energy? That's part of your signature too, is that energy that you transfer among that line.
I think that's part of the biggest thing, honestly. What I bring to this game is I'm able to bring the people around me with me. And that's just by my play style and who I am as a person. I tell you, I love this game. I love this game. I have so much joy going out there and being able to play this game and, be around these professional athletes who, I've once looked up to, and now I'm with them and, practicing with them and going to war with them. Like to me, that's just what it's all about. And so when I'm out there having fun, everybody can feel it. It's affectionate, and it's not anything that I try to do. That's just who I am. Like I remember when I was younger, that's how my dad was. Like when he was coaching us in Little League, he was always the hype man. He was always screaming. He's always, getting us rowdy to go. And I just feel like that's how the game of football is played. And other thing too, in high school, I remember my freshman year, I was a freshman playing varsity, and I got hit super hard on the sideline. I caught a ball, got smacked, and everybody was like, "Woo, woo, woo! Wow, you got hit." But my one thing my coach said is, you bounced up so fast that it made the defender feel like he didn't even do anything. And so you'll see me now, like I'll be the first one up off the ground. Like I'm not staying on the ground because you didn't do anything to me. You didn't affect me. That hit, I didn't feel that. And so that's just another mental psycho thing that I try to bring to the game that allows, me to have that edge over defenders and allows me to have that energy, for my team.
So we're talking to you before you head to the East Coast. Jets this week, big game, first time all season. You guys are now tied for first place, and I'll be real with you. We're unbiased here at NFL Daily, but I've been living in LA now. We're a little biased. I've been here for 11 years now, and I didn't know what my daughter was gonna decide to do as a football fan, or even if she would become a football fan. But she went out to the Coliseum when the Rams were playing the Cowboys in the playoffs. What was that, 6 years ago now, with Jared Goff in his second year, and she became a Ram fan. So she early on this season, and she's a huge Kyren Williams fan. Early on this season, you guys are struggling there at 1-4. And I'm like, man, I'm sorry, Ellis. I know it's disappointing. She spends her whole Sunday building around. I'm just like, this might not be the year. And she's just like, oh no, they'll be there at the end. Like, that's what they do. They improve as it goes. And I was like, yeah, but Stafford's getting a little older and there's a lot of injuries and all that. She's like, oh no, they'll be there at the end. That's what they do. And it is what you guys do. Like, what is it about this Rams team, including when you've been there, especially these last 2 years, that it does seem like you guys are peaking at this time of the year, and just kind of what are you looking forward to the rest of the season?
Yeah, I mean, I couldn't tell you a pinpoint example or a situation that happened to us. I honestly think Coach McVay, he's a great coach, and he's able to verbalize. I don't think many coaches are able to verbalize what we need to do, and he was able to do that. He sat us down and he told us that we needed a sense of urgency. We told us that we need to really, come together as a group to go compete our butts off, because sitting at 1-4, we knew we weren't that type of team. We were better than what we were putting out there on the field and putting out there on tape. And so just him having that realization and him being able to be real with us and show us what the reality of the situation was. And like you said, we did have injuries. We didn't have Cooper Kupp. We didn't have Puka. We didn't have Steve. We didn't have, the people that we needed to, have to also be the, the explosive offense that we always were to be. And so, just being able to, be real with us, but still put that confidence in us, still be able to move us and motivate us to be in the right direction. I feel like that's what the biggest, turning point for this team was, because he sat us down and told us that we had 36 days left together. And when you think about it, 36 days isn't a lot. And when you think about it, you don't want to lose in those 36 days. You don't want to come in December losing football. Like, that's just no fun in the NFL. And so, having him do that in the create of the response that he created on his team is, it's hats off to him. And then, hats off to, what he's about, what he's doing. But, I just feel like right now, like you said, we're hitting at the right time, and we just got to continue to stay tight, stay focused, and not worry about who's in front of us. I always tell everybody, anybody we play is faceless and nameless. Like, it don't matter who it is. Every Sunday we know that we got a game, but it don't matter who. So this weekend it happens to be the Jets, but it doesn't change anything that we do as offense, defense, and special teams. We're continue to keep, focusing on us and what we do to make us who we are.
I think the thing that's so crazy when you talk to elite competitors such as yourself and players across the league is that switch that you flip for opponents, right? Mm-hmm. Then you flip another switch when you get into the community.
Yeah.
And it is so personal to you. I mean, this Walter Payton Man of the Year nomination, I know, is so deeply personal to you for a number of reasons, inclusive to how you found out about it. Can you kind of remind us and take us through that moment?
I'll tell you the whole story, honestly. So growing up in St. Louis, I've always, my dad was a football player. My uncles were football players. And so football was something I love to do. And my mom, she wouldn't let me play because she was always nervous about me getting hurt. And so I had to wait. I had to play flag football. I had to do that first. But like I said, football is my love and my passion. And so being able, to have the St. Louis Rams in St. Louis and have a professional team to be able to look up to, that's all I wanted to be. And so in 8th grade, I was blessed to be able to have friends whose parents were able to take me to games, take me to the Edwards Jones domes, and be able to, really put eyes to what it was to, live out that dream. And so one day, my grandma, my mimi, she had tickets to like the Steven Jackson Foundation of 39 Wishes, where I was able to, go to the stadium, be on the field, and meet every single player on the Rams. Just like you just walk up to the table and they sign autographs. And so when I got to Steven Jackson, I knew who Steven Jackson was from just being, loving football so much and watching the Rams so much. And so when I got to Steven Jackson, it was like, it was just a real moment, like me putting real eyes to somebody who I wanted to be. That's what, changed my life. Honestly, I was able to get a picture, and I remember going home to tell my mom, like, I'm gonna be an NFL player. Like, this is what I want to be. And ever since that moment, I fell deeply in love with football, and I was still at every Rams game, and I was still just wanting to be that person that I saw that one time when I was 8 years old, with Steven Jackson. And so, and I was always at the games. So when Steven Jackson, he came to the, our team meeting, I was like, oh, wow, Steven Jackson's here. What's he going to tell us about? Like, I had no idea. And then the picture popped up of, the picture of me and him when I was little. And I was like, okay, maybe he's just showing like the connection that we had. Like, I met Steven Jackson before, like nothing about Walter Payton Man there, nothing. And then he told me he told me, like, he told me like, oh, your buddy here, he's a Walter Payton Man of the Year nominee. And I was shocked because I thought what I was doing was something I was supposed to do. Like, that's what God put me in this position to be able to be a blessing to a blessing, And so, I know how it feels to be impacted. I know how it feels to be inspired. I know how it feels to really put eyes to the person that you want to be. And so that's just my main focus. Like, my main focus is to inspire the youth, because what Steven Jackson did for me, little did he know, allowed me to be where I'm at, allowed me to be able to meet him again in the position that I am as an NFL running back. And, he gave that kid a dream that was reality. He told me to dream big, and I dreamed the biggest. And, and so because being able to have that and being able to know who I am and how I got to where I'm at, it's only right that I continue to inspire the youth, because you never know who is going to take that and run with it. And so that's kind of why, like, I'm always, if I see a kid and they see me and they know who I am, I'm always like, yes, 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 yes to anything. That's why I throw the ball before games, because you just never know who you're going to touch. You don't never know who you're going to impact, because, Steven Jackson didn't. And, I'm blessed enough to be right here because of what he did.
Now, have you watched the video back? Since?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, okay. Because we had it already. Now you talked it through. Let's put it on. I'm going to put it on for our listeners just to check it out. And this was that moment where he introduces you.
This guy right here, I had a chance to meet him. In this year, at that time, I met this young man. No, I did not know he would become a Ram and on his way to being a great. So when you leave it all on the field, you help people forget and you give them inspiration. And that's why I'm here this morning, because one of our brothers here have done that. Our buddy here is the Walter Payton Rams nominee for this season.
And it goes on from there. Very cool moment. And yeah, all the work that you do in the community, people should check it out. But you served as the captain for the United Way of the Greater LA's Walk United LA, which helped raise over $1 million to fight cycles of poverty. It's a long list. It's amazing all the different things that you've been a part of. Met with members of the LA Rams wheelchair football team. You're involved in the school district out here. We work in Inglewood too at SoFi Stadium, and you're involved in the LAUSD, the school district, trying to help kids there and in the Inglewood school system, and different local children battling life-threatening medical conditions. All these different events, and it goes on. And yeah, what it made me think reading all this stuff is, yeah, you must be saying yes to every opportunity. And the thing that stands out to me, not knowing you, Kyren, was just I watch how this Man of the Year stuff goes, and it's always almost like a thing that they reward veterans that have been around a long time for, because it's such a hard honor to get that you have to wait. Steven Jackson talked about it too. He got it in 2012, and I'm thinking, yeah, that's at the end of that's towards the end of his Rams tenure. So for you to get that as such a young player in your third season, I think that says a lot about you.
No, for sure. And like you said, it's a blessing to be where I'm at, and I know how I got to here. So I'm gonna be a blessing to other people, to make sure that whatever it is that they're going through, they know that it's gonna be okay, because everybody, we're all human. Everybody's going through something, and so I just try to be a blessing for a blessing for sure.
But you're a blessing to NFL Daily. We appreciate you, and you're a blessing to my friend Jourdan Rodrigue here. Sharing the screen with her. And hopefully we helped you out too. Because
I'm just here. He is the one who's on the screen. Yeah. And thank you, Kyren, because we know we hit a sudden change at you here with the location and everything. So thank you so much
That's what it's all about.
for being flexible.
Stay on your toes. You got to stay on your toes. You don't never know what's going to happen. You got to be ready for whatever.
Yeah, appreciate it. And it's cool. Maybe do like in honor of Steven Jackson this week and like do one of those Steven Jackson runs, just run through. That guy was a beast. You must have loved him growing up.
Yeah, I got you. I wish he had a signature celebration that I could do.
I hear that. He was one of my favorites. One of the like just most physical, exciting running backs. So you've been Ram for life, Ram back in St. Louis, and now Ram now. Appreciate you, Kyren. Thank you, Jourdan. We'll catch you next time.
Thank you so much. Appreciate you.